Searching for birth family or relatives is different for every adoptee. I know that in particular, for myself all those years ago, I really just wanted to find that connection and understand who my birth parents were. The big question that I always asked myself in the very beginning was, am I prepared for what to expect? And I can honestly say I was not prepared at all. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't understand how much my life was really going to change. As soon as I found those answers on my birth mother first, to then tracking down my birth father, I really wasn't prepared for anything that was going to be thrown at me as an adoptee, because all I wanted to do was understand and learn more about my roots, learn more about my birth family, and understand where I came from. It took me time to really make that decision. Back when I was 21, when I first began that search, I sat down and had a big rethink on understanding, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to see what is behind that closed door of mystery? I just am so eager to know, but I'm also so afraid of getting hurt at the same time. And I kept telling myself around this time, why would you want to interrupt such a very happy-go life? You know, why would you want to interrupt that with something that can completely change your life for the good or for the bad? And you have parents who raised you well and parents who love you more than anything. Why would you want anything to change? This is what I thought all those years ago.
As much as we've been told he knows. Yeah.
We've been totally open and honest with him all the way through. So what we have known, he has known too.
I sat down and talked to my parents. I remember so clearly. I talked to them, I explained to them, I just really want to fit in that missing piece that is missing in that puzzle of my life. There is something there missing and I must know. I must know. It's just like a big case of curiosity. I really am just so eager. I wanted to open this door that was locked. It was like a key lock on a door that I just could not open, and I must know and I must open this door. I really just wanted to make that connection with my birth parents. I wanted to know what their life was like. There are so many of us, just like myself, who sat down really thinking, I really must know. I had no idea what the outcome was going to be. And my parents always told me that you never know what is going to come your way when it comes to doing any search like this. You have to be prepared. And I told myself, yeah, I might be prepared, but I really didn't know how prepared I needed to be. I know it may seem so exciting at the time, especially when I was looking through all the information, I was putting in names, I was searching up and trying to find little pieces here and there, and I was getting excited, I was really keen. And this was like a game to me in the beginning. I was like, oh, I found a link here, there must be something here, I must be able to connect. Oh, I can click through, I've connected with somebody, this is so exciting, my life has changed so quick. That is how I felt at the time. I was thinking to myself, this is so exciting, this has changed my life. But the reality out of that too was when I found out the information of my birth mother's life. And when I made that connection with my birth mother, I was excited, but I was also so overwhelmed. I was nervous, I was anxious, and I found out there were so many complications in her life, and I had to put myself in her shoes, and I definitely did. And I thought to myself, I don't think I was prepared for this. I told myself, I was excited a day ago, and now I'm just really quite nervous. I'm quite anxious, and I'm a little bit, you know that feeling of when something just hits you so quickly? That's what it felt like. It felt so quick, it felt so sudden. I told myself, maybe I wasn't so prepared as I thought I was. But I'm so happy I made that connection. I learned more at that point about my family history, my bloodline, piece of my heritage. It was starting to connect the dots, and that was where I was getting that piece of closure. I felt like I closed the chapter and I've opened up a new one. But there were so many more questions that I really needed answered at that point. I remember at the time I was staying at my parents' place and I was walking down the hallway and I told my mum and dad, I said, I think I've tracked down my birth mother. And my parents were they were in shock. They couldn't believe it. They were happy. They said, look, this would make our life if you could track down your birth parents.
I think it's just I'm so wrapped for Alex that he's tracked them down. He's got every right, everyone's got every right to know who where their beginnings are.
There's apprehension and anxiety there naturally, but more so for Alex, for his feelings, etc. The anxiety I have is of him being hurt. I don't really. I think that it's really brilliant and it's amazing that he's managed to track them down and what he's done. So I'm really hoping that everything will work out really well.
And I said, yeah, I've tracked her down. I'm pretty sure I found her. They've connected with her. They're talking with her now. But I said to my parents, there are some complications with her life and things have not been easy. And my parents said to me, look, there's going to be these times where the unexpected really hits you so quickly. And when I found out that piece of my birth father, I remember sitting down with my parents and showing them photos and explaining to them, this is what I know so far about my birth mother and birth father. You know, my parents, they really couldn't believe it. They were really in shock, and they were taking everything in just at the same time as I was. And I was really taking everything in, soaking everything in each day at a time. Everything was very slow. Now, with me saying this and with my journey, all these years later, there are so many things that I've learned really along the way. As you know, there's been so many pieces of my journey that I've been sharing here, ups and downs here and there. I know that for every adoptee, every story, and if you want to search for your birth family, that is completely your choice. But you know, every story, every connection that you make is going to be different for everybody. And that's what makes it your story. And for any adoptee who may be wanting to search for birth relatives or birth parents, there's going to be times where it may be overwhelming with information. You may not find anything and you just don't know what to expect. You always take that path yourself. You go on this, you take your own time. You may not find answers, you may find answers. For myself, I'm still trying to find answers of my extended relatives. And I know that this is just how it is as part of my story. I also speak for those who may not want to do a search as well. It is always down to our own decision at the end of the day. Never put a timeline on it, and if you can seek support along the way, it always does help. I've got so much more of my own journey to go, and I've still got so many questions awaiting to be answered. But I know, and I say this so many times, and I apologize if I do repeat myself, that adoption is a lifelong journey, and it definitely is. So thank you all so much. Please look after yourselves wherever you are. Take care, and until next time, do swidania. Iz Nowy Zelandii. Spasiba. And I just wanted to show you all my blue light glasses just before I go. This is not a sponsored product. I just want to show you that when it comes to, of course, when I'm editing and things like that, your eyes start to get a little bit sore after a long day. So I always go outside, get some fresh air, but these are really great. They really help me so much. I think I look pretty cool in them. Nah, I look... Wait, I look silly. Anyways, look after yourselves. Take care.